Hi, let's talk about something really basic, like bad and good. Let's get really basic. I talked recently about the victim consciousness, and that is layered in there so thickly that it's a matter of pure amazement in a way when we begin to see it. We're just shocked, all the little ways. And a lot of the resentments that we have, or the frustrations and those kind of things, by observing that, watching it, and going to the bottom, looking for what's under there, you're going to find this victim stuff. Uh, Probably. I mean, it's likely. And as a for instance, well, we're talking bad and good. And when we're talking that, we're talking fear. There are so many people that are looking at so many things that are just filling them with fear. Now, those that are anchored, more connected, I mean, everyone's in heart, but not everyone knows it. And so those that are making the conscious choice to do and be that, to abide in the heart, or to step away from identifying so much with the body, the mind, they're in better shape to be able to observe. I have found that if I stay in the 3D mind, there's not the depth of perception that enables me to see this layering that goes on and to get to the bottom of things. The mind's a nice tool, but not for all the things we use it for. The heart works better. So, what about what I even have called, what some call fear-mongering? What about that? Well, it kind of depends on where you find yourself, where you're anchored in a way. I don't put things up as favorites on my site that are universally negative. I do put negative things up. What do I mean by that? You can tell when someone is giving you some news, let's say, that's kind of dark from some research that they've done. You can tell, if you're in heart, whether or not they're in a vibration of fear, where they're coming from. And let's face it, folks, you pick up the energy of the person along with the information. And so you want that to be light. You want that to flow from ethics and integrity and the desire to serve, to inform, you know. And so, and you pick it up all the way back, the stream of information. And so whether or not it's truth enters in there. And the most powerful information, of course, then would be truth carried to you by a being of light. That has a real resident power within it that can get into your consciousness and clean house. I've talked before about this thing with truth. It just seeing it, just witnessing it, beholding it, with an open heart, not in a really closed, fortressed up way. In other words, letting truth in. It's almost like you don't have to do anything else because truth itself has a power and it will stir up all of the stuff within you that opposes it. And so you'll find things come from subterranean, subconscious realms within yourself when you take on a truth, and all these things will be brought to the surface. Truth has a power and a purity like nothing else. and it's active. Truth is not passive. And so it's a wonderful thing. Now there may be some people that fear this whole concept, that you could take something into you that would continue acting without you telling it what to do. Sorry about that. I mean, you know, I would say that gets down to a definition of self again. Who and what are you? Whenever we're afraid, why don't we look and see who and what is afraid? Look into the fear. It's not you. Okay? We've got these endless layers and levels of programming coming at us from all directions. Well, I'll tell you, folks, we are great beings of light, and that stuff is no big deal. We're going to walk our way through it, fly and ascend through it, and it's just not a problem. All right, so let's not magnify things out of proportion, which the mind tends to do. Tell me I'm wrong. You know, mind likes to magnify everything, and I actually tend to equate mind with ego. And so ego wants to be thought right. It wants to know. It wants to control and master things. Well, we've got rampant ego on this planet, and if we can't open our baby blues and see that that's just worthless, well, we can open our eyes and see that that's not the way to go. And so I'm just saying, I think it might have been Muji who said, never let the mind leave the lap of the heart. We don't go mindless, but we use a higher aspect of mind. It's time to leave 3D behind. All right? And in a way, it's a big scary thing, but I want to tell you, guess who's scared? It's your freaking mind. It's not you. And that's the whole thing with not identifying with your mind. Don't hold your thoughts so close. Don't hold your beliefs so tight that, oh my God, they have to be right or the world is over. Excuse me, you know, step out of that. Get some breathing space. Take your shoes off and go walk barefoot on the ground a while. Sit your butt down. Connect with nature. Connect with Mother Earth. Hug a tree. Listen to a bird. Whistle to it. You know, reconnect and find out who and what you really are. Get out of the matrix. Nature helps a heck of a lot. Tremendously. All right, now, I have heard it mentioned that we should not invite light in from outside of ourselves. The first person actually that I heard say this was George Kavassilis. He'll forgive me. And you can do a search on my YouTube site and you'll find some of his videos there, George Kavassilis. But he's got his own website. You know, get his stuff on his site. What the heck? He's the one who talks about having, since childhood, loads of experiences with all different races of ET beings and various abductions and visits, you know, friendlier ones as well as unpleasant ones. And one of the key things that he says is at a certain point, he was taken on a journey and they went someplace, I forget exactly where, maybe another planet or something. But anyway, wherever they went, he was then given an opportunity, which he took, to shoot up through all of the dimensions, the levels of being. Now, I'm going to ask you to forgive me. I've taken in different bits of information here and there. I don't remember whether he says that there are 11 or 13, but however many there are, he went all the way up through them, and then he came back down. And that's really fascinating. I don't know of another person that claims to have had that experience, and it's a wow. But I don't buy everything George says. I love his heart. It's very beautiful. And there's a power there, and there's just a resident integrity. Now, someone else recently shared with me that they felt that there was a danger in bringing external light in. And I'm just going to ponder this. I'm not going to guarantee. It's like any journal. I don't know where it's going. Looks like it's going to be a little long. Sorry about that, Israel. Okay, so who is, by the way, I'm quipping, somebody who left me a comment and said, you know, your videos are okay, but there's a lot of them I don't listen to because they're too long. So I tease him now and then. All right. I want to get to the root first, and then I'll touch that. The root is you have nothing to fear. Fear is a bugbear. Fear is the Wizard of Oz and the little guy, you know, making himself really big, but he's just a little guy hiding behind there. Fear is simply a challenge to transcend. It's really nothing more than that. You can't be hurt. You're a cosmic being. You're eternal, you're infinite, and you're actually even more than that, and that blows the mind, but don't be in the mind with it, okay? Because there's more than just infinity and eternity. Infinity and eternity are properties of the creation of the cosmos, of the mega hologram, the fractal thing. Well, there's also the void. And so you can actually transcend infinity and eternity, in my humble opinion. Maybe it's not so humble. I don't know. I try to be. I love it. Okay, there's nothing to fear. Now, I don't know who said, you know, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. I'm thinking that was used in a battle context. All this battle stuff, all this warring, all this killing, argumentation, pointing fingers, judgment, every bit of that, get ready to sweep it away. Clean it up. It's lower level energies and it's holding you down. All right? In your higher consciousness, you've got none of that. And if you want to rise freely and easily into higher consciousness, it's a really good idea to be looking at this stuff now and rejecting it. It will make it easier for you later on. All right? All the polarity and duality is 3D. And we contain it all, folks. We contain it all. It's all one, and we've outgrown all of our religions on the earth. We really have. We contain it all. Those things have been perverted and used to pit brother against brother. There's been more murder in the name of scripture and religion than anything else on the planet. You know, prove me wrong.